Earth, what a beautiful place, occupied by 6.2 billion souls, each with their own characteristics and way of life. Some cities offer some great opportunities while others not so much. Elliot Richards, a lonely and desperate man, seems like the perfect candidate for those who seek souls to play with. Elliot works in a computer company and tries hard to mingle with his colleagues, but they clearly don't want to be with him. Elliot, however, sticks with them, and then he sees Allison Gardner. Boy, he is so in love with her he can't stop staring. His colleagues tease him and tell him to go and say hello to her. Elliot hesitates, but eventually goes over to her. He tries to chat with Allison, but with no effect. His colleagues laugh at him, and Allison leaves the bar. At that point, Elliot prays to God that he would give anything to have Allison in his life. At the sound of it, a white billiard ball rolls to him, and a stunning woman in a red dress beckons him over. Elliot walks up to the billiard table, and the hot woman mentions the thing he said earlier. Elliot is impressed with the woman and follows her outside. The gorgeous woman kisses him and then offers him a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to give him everything and anything he's always dreamed of. Elliot asks her who she is, and the woman whispers in his ear that she's the devil. Elliot thinks that the woman is crazy and walks away. The devil, however, appears with a different outfit just around the corner and talks to Elliot about the chance she is offering to alter his pathetic life. She tells him to wish for something, and goofy Elliot wishes for a fast food meal. The devil takes him then to a fast food restaurant and orders a meal with no fries. Elliot mentions that this doesn't prove anything, and the devil takes him in her Lamborghini Diablo car outside the city to a club of hers, where Elliot is welcomed as if he's a movie star or something. Inside the club, Elliot is greeted warmly by almost everyone, but all these are tricks to persuade him to strike a deal with the devil. Taking Elliot to her office, the devil gives him a massive contract to sign. The contract says that Elliot is to be granted 7 wishes in exchange for his soul. That doesn't sound right, though, and Elliot objects. The devil points out that the souls are overrated. She even shows him a video of him kissing Allison and finally convinces him. Elliot signs the contract, and the devil hands him a small red pager, saying that if his wish isn't what he expected, he should dial 666 and call the devil to bring him back to his former state. Elliot's first wish is to be married with Allison and to be rich and powerful. The wish is granted, and Elliot wakes up with Allison by his side. He is living in a luxurious mansion, speaking fluently Spanish and being respected by everyone. Going to the stables to ride his stallion, Elliot sees Allison walking away with Raul and notices that his wife isn't that faithful to him. Elliot is enraged and hilariously rips his fine mustache. Afterwards, he learns that his wife is cheating on him with Raul, the English teacher, and asks for explanations. Allison replies that she despises him and begins throwing things at him. Suddenly, one of his assistants asks for Elliot's presence to the factory. Once there, Elliot discovers that he's a drug lord. A problem occurs with his Russian buyers, and suddenly Raul takes over the business. A wild gunfight ensues then, and Elliot barely escapes in one piece. While on air and holding on to a chopper, Elliot falls, but manages to grab the pager and dial 666. He ends up on a car hood with the devil issuing fines to double-parked cars. Elliot is frustrated with how his wish has turned out, and the devil tells him that he has made a mistake by wishing for wealth and power. She gives him a hint as to what Allison might want from him, and together they are transported to Allison's bedroom. There, both invincible to Allison, the devil reads to Elliot from Allison's diary. Elliot discovers that Allison wants a sensitive man, and so Elliot wishes to be the most emotionally sensitive man in the world and for Allison to love him. The wish comes true, but Elliot has turned out to be too sensitive for Allison. He can't stop crying, watching the sunset and worrying about the dolphins. Allison can't stand him, however, and when 3 men start bullying him, Allison ditches him, and Elliot starts crying again. He dials the devil and returns to his normal self once again. He accuses the devil of ruining his wishes, but the devil is rather upset hearing this and complains to Elliot that no one really likes her. Elliot apologizes, and his next wish is for him to be a big and strong athlete with lots of fans. Elliot is magically turned into an amazing, second-to-none basketball player. He shoots, he passes, he dunks, and everyone loves him. After the match, Allison, who is working as a reporter, comes to the dressing room and hits on Elliot, who unfortunately, as he goes to get dressed, he notices that his pecker is tiny. Elliot is frustrated, and after a long effort, apparently this wish didn't make him a bright person, succeeds in dialing the devil again. He finds now himself at a clinic, and again expresses his disappointment to the devil about his last wish. He wishes now to be clever, eloquent, and popular. Soon, Elliot appears as a new Oscar Wilde, enchanting the people at a gala with his speeches. Allison is attracted to him and discusses with him about literature and other abstract meanings. Elliot takes Allison back to his place, but all of a sudden, they see Elliot's boyfriend waiting for him in bed. What a bummer for Elliot, who proves to be gay and confirms it so by kissing Allison and feeling absolutely nothing. Elliot returns in a class with the devil as the cool teacher. Tired of wishing things for himself, Elliot wishes now to be able to do good for others. Therefore, he wishes now he was the President of the United States. The devil grants him that wish, but not in the manner he would expect. Elliot is President Lincoln, and he finds himself in the theater, where he's about to get murdered. But right before that happens, Elliot dials 666 and returns to his time and place. At his workplace, Elliot is reprimanded by his boss for showing up late. He apologizes and sees the devil on his screen, telling him that he still has one wish left. Elliot disagrees with her, saying he has 2 wishes. The two of them argue bitterly, and Elliot storms out. He goes to a church to ask for help from God. He tells the priest the deal he made with the devil, and the police comes in and arrests him. At the precinct, Elliot sees the devil, who takes him to a cell and orders him to carry on with the deal, because there's no other choice for him now but to go all the way. She puts him in the cell to think about it, and there, Elliot meets a man who tells him that his soul is not his to sell, and that it really belongs to God. He advises him to think hard what he really wants and not let the devil fool him. After his release, Elliot goes to the devil's club and says that he doesn't want another wish. The devil gets angry and sends Elliot to hell, where she threatens him to make his last wish. Elliot wishes then for Allison to have a happy life, and the devil, looking all so disappointed, hurls Elliot to the fiery pit below. Elliot wakes up in the courthouse, where he is informed by the devil that making a selfless wish, he has broken the deal with her, and thus got his soul back. Elliot is happy and sees that the devil isn't that bad after all. He learns from her that this whole good and evil business is really based on humans. Elliot leaves, and meeting Allison, he dares to ask her out. Allison tells him that she's seeing someone, and Elliot doesn't flinch. Being so cool and carefree, Elliot is a changed man now. He stands up for himself at work and starts enjoying life without worrying about anything. Returning home, Elliot sees his new neighbor, Nicole De La Russo, and is dumbfounded by how much she looks like Allison. He helps her unpack, and before they both know it, they're into a relationship. The couple goes for a walk, and the devil and the good man in the cell, who must be God, look at them. The film ends with Elliot and Nicole smiling at each other. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. If you like this video, please consider subscribing to our channel. I'll be back with another interesting movie recap. Until then, take care.